Hi, so I'm in my kitchen today showing you how to make one of your favorite recipes, which is my 3-cheese mushroom fillet. So once you've got that dough technique down pat, they're actually a really easy recipe to make. You can store some of the dough in the freezer, whip it out for when you're hungry and just want to throw something in there and pop it in the oven. And they're also really great to have as a fun pizza Friday night. So yeah, get the kids in the kitchen with you, get them helping making that dough, because I'm going to show you how to make it and it's really easy. So let's get started. So to start with, I'm going to show you how to make that beautiful crispy galette dough pastry that's filled with cheddar and lots of butter. So you want to chill a large bowl, your stick of butter and a grater into the freezer for at least 20 minutes before working with it. That's the trick to a good galette recipe, to a good galette dough, is these ingredients have to be really cold when working with them, and you kind of have to work a little bit quick as well. So you're going to want 200 grams of butter, and we're going to grate that into 2.5 cups of flour. And I'm going to pour into the bowl like that. A little pinch of salt, just going to whisk that together. 30 grams of cheddar cheese. You can use any other cheese that you like Parmesan or Pecorino. But I do like a really yummy cheddar crust. And then we're going to grate that 200 grams of butter into there. So this is a little trick that was taught to me. Grating the butter as opposed to cubing it makes it really easy for when you're going to break it down with your fingertips. And we're going to break it down into a really nice pebble-like texture. So yeah, just grate that directly into your bowl. That's looking good to me. All right, so we're just going to break it down with our fingertips now. So really get in there. Try and make sure that all the flour and the butter and the cheese are mixed through. And I like to do just like a pinching technique that you can see. So pinch it together. So you can see that you've got those pebbles starting to form, and that's what we mean when we say pebbly texture. Okay, so now I'm going to make a well in the center of that flour. I've got really icy cold water, and we're going to do about 6 to 8 tablespoons in the middle. The reason I say 6 to 8 is because sometimes, depending on the weather or just depending on the flour that you're working with, you don't need as much water, or you need a little less. So it's better just to start with less. And now we're going to bring that all together with a fork. So you want to make sure that most of that dough is moist. So just get a little bit of flour and flour the surface. Just going to tip that down. And then bring it all together into a ball with your hands. And you're just going to knead it like you do pasta. So this is looking quite good now. It's really forming into a nice ball. I'm quite happy with that. If this were a pasta ball, I would want no cracks, no texture in it at all. You want that smooth baby buns texture. But we don't want that with the galette, so this is good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. That's going to give you one big galette. That's going to give you another. I'm going to wrap them in plastic wrap. Keep them in the fridge for a minimum of 30 minutes to let them rest. And while they're resting, let's get started on our fillings. So we're going to need 375 grams of cut thinly sliced white buttered mushrooms, which I've already done. 1 onion that we're going to thinly dice. And then I've got 3 garlic cloves. So I'm just going to peel them by smashing them with the back of my knife, peeling those ones away. And I'm going to put them in a garlic crusher just so they're nice and thinly, just so they're nice and diced up. So we're just going to start frying off and sweating down that onion and garlic. So I like to bring about a tablespoon and a half of olive oil to the heat. And then once that's heated up, I'm going to throw in that onion, turn the heat down and sweat and fry them off for about 5 minutes. Alright, I think those onions are looking good and I think we're ready to add in the garlic. So I've just added my garlic into a garlic crusher and I'm just going to mince it in here with the onion. And cook it for maybe a further additional 1 to 2 minutes. As I said, keep an eye on that garlic, we really don't want it to burn. Now let's get ready to add all the other ingredients into the pan. So I'm going to start by putting 2 tablespoons of butter. Just let it melt. And remember, we're on a low heat here because butter can easily burn. although I have put that olive oil in there to help that prevent from burning. I'm gonna get a little bit of salt, put that in there. And then I've got this beautiful fresh thyme, and I'm gonna put that in there, and that's gonna create a lovely flavor in there. And now I'm gonna add my mushrooms in. Let's throw them in. I'm gonna turn my heat up to medium, give that a lovely stir through. And as I said, I'm just gonna leave that to sit and work its magic. So I've let those mushrooms sit for about 10 minutes on that low heat. I've very rarely touched them. I've let them sit so they can brown and they can caramelize and all that moisture can evaporate. As you can see, they are looking gorgeous. Those mushrooms are silky, they're soft, that butter's melted through them, all those flavors have combined well. I think that they're ready to take off the heat now. Okay, so I've had that dough resting in the fridge while we've been preparing everything else. And now I'm going to roll it out and get ready to fill it with all those delicious fillings. So just lightly flour your workbench again. Have a rolling pin on the stand by. So just get your rolling pin and just roll it out to about 4 millimeters thick. So just apply a fair bit of pressure. I like to move it turn it around, just so I'm getting it as even as possible. So I'm just going to roll it up onto my rolling pin, roll it down. As I said, it's a 3 cheese mushroom fillet. So we're going to start off with a layer of ricotta on the bottom and just push it out as so, just as though you're making a pizza base. So you actually want to leave a border when you're making a fillet because we're going to fold it over. And then we're just going to get some bocconcini. And I'm just going to cut those bocconcinis in half just so it's easier for them to sit down. And then I've got this beautiful Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm just going to grate a little bit of that onto there. And then let's get that mushroom mixture onto there. So now we're just going to roughly fold that over. You can crease a little bit of the sides over. And look, there's always one side that's a little bit thinner and it's called the classic fillet bubble. Look at that! She looks gorgeous. So I've just taken that 3 cheese mushroom fillet out of the oven. It was in there for 30 minutes. You can see the pastry is golden, crunchy. It just smells absolutely divine. The perfect comforting winter dish, especially if you're in lockdown like I am. Perfect to eat at home on the couch with a movie. And now just to finish it off, I'm going to sprinkle some fresh rocket over the top. And that's just going to help cut through all of that richness from the butter and the cheese. And then to help even a little bit more, a bit of acidity, a bit of acid from that lemon. I can't wait to dig into this tonight. And I hope when you make it, tag me in it, show me all your beautiful fillets. I can't wait to see them.